So just to start, we'll assume the basics here. All the energy that comes into the climate system comes from the sun, which is shining beautifully outside at the moment. But the point is the atmosphere is almost completely transparent to sunlight. So it does not absorb, it's not warmed by the sun directly. The Earth absorbs the sunlight. So the Earth warms up and it radiates heat back towards space to balance the amount of sunlight coming in. And the crucial point here is the atmosphere is not transparent to this heat. There are gases in the atmosphere, greenhouse gases so-called, that absorb that heat. And so that warms up the atmosphere and the atmosphere radiates heat. Eventually it gets back out to space, but in the process the Earth's surface is warmer than it would be without these gases in the air. It's like having a blanket over the Earth, like having a blanket on your bed at night in the winter. You're warmer than you would be otherwise underneath that blanket. The thicker the blanket, hopefully the warmer you are, and the more of the stuff in the air, the warmer the surface of the Earth is. It's exactly the same idea. So if you want to change the climate, you can change one of those two things. You can either change how bright the sun is, or you can change the amount of greenhouse gas in the atmosphere. That's pretty much it. Explains the ice ages, explains all the changes we've seen in the climate for over millions of years. So the sunlight isn't changing, but the amount of greenhouse gas in the atmosphere has changed dramatically in recent history. Certainly recent history in terms of the Earth's sort of timescale. So here's a picture of how carbon dioxide's changed in the atmosphere in the last 13,000 years or so. And the reason I show it over 13,000 years is, ice sheets and oceans take a long time to adjust to these sorts of changes. So this is the sort of timing that the Earth thinks of. And when you look at it on this sort of timescale, you can see it was sort of flat, going on about 280 parts per million. And in the last couple of hundred years, there's been this huge spike in the amount of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases in the air. And in fact, we're at a level now that's higher than it's been for more than 3 million years. So this is completely outside the experience of the human species. And the Earth does take a long time to respond to this stuff. So there will be changes going on for quite a while yet, regardless of what we do with emissions. So lots more greenhouse gas, a thicker blanket on the Earth. So the Earth's warming up, and I won't label this, but you can see temperatures around the world there. The zero line is the estimate of what the pre-industrial temperature was before 1900. And we're now running the last few years a bit above 1 degree above pre-industrial, so 1.1 degrees or something like that. So things have been warming up, certainly. The atmosphere has warmed about 1 degree. But most of the extra energy that's come into the climate system because of this increase in greenhouse gases has gone into the oceans. So the oceans have absorbed over 90% of the extra heat that the Earth has received from having this extra stuff in the air. And that makes sense because the oceans cover about 3/4 of the Earth's surface. And water's really good at absorbing heat, much better than the land surfaces. This is really good news for us because if all of that heating had gone into the atmosphere, temperatures would already have gone up about 50 degrees. We wouldn't be talking about this. This has slowed down the rate of warming of the atmosphere a lot, but it's also locked in long-term change. Alright, so that's roughly where we're at. I think the point of conversations like this today are where we're going in the future. So here's a schematic from the last Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change report, what the future could look like in terms of global temperature change. So time on the bottom there, temperature change in degrees C up the vertical axis, and the punchline here is the blue line is something like following the Paris Agreement. We might get another maybe 1 degree of warming on top of the 1 degree we've had already. And the red line is the don't do anything with emissions future where temperatures go up 4 or 5 degrees more this century. So the point is that we have an awful lot of control over the future, even though we've done a lot, we've put big changes into the atmosphere. If we stop emitting greenhouse gases fairly soon, then we can really put the brakes on how the climate changes in the future. If we don't, having another, say, 4 degrees of warming would put us into a climate that hasn't been seen for tens of millions of years, and all of the ice would melt. It would be, we wouldn't want to go there, I would say. But we do still have the power to stop that kind of thing happening. Yeah, very, very quickly. So here's that last century temperature rise, roughly 1 degree. If we assume we get another degree of temperature rise in the next 100 years, so we have a sort of lining up with the Paris Agreement, so by 2118 temperatures are around 2 degrees above pre-industrial. This is what the temperature curve could look like in 100 years' time. And the point I want to make here is, this is where we're at the moment, a bit above 1 degree above pre-industrial. This is just a cartoon, it's not a forecast, but it's probably roughly right. Over the next 20 years or so, you might see some years that are cooler than present, but then by about 2040, every year would be warmer than the present warmest year on record. So we'd be in a totally different climate, even with a few tenths of a degree more warming. And you'd start to see this kind of thing. You know, the Australians are expecting days above 50 degrees C in places like Sydney and Melbourne. Not sure if we'll get that warm in Dunedin, but still, temperatures above anything we've experienced before are going to become quite common, even with, you know, a degree of warming. So for New Zealand, and these again are pretty round number of figures, of 2 degree warming, you would see roughly a tripling of the number of hot days, however you define hot day, above 25 degrees, above 30 degrees, you get the same sort of answer. So if you had 1 month in the summer that was, you know, hot, then in future you might expect 3 months, all of the summer to be hot. Add on a bit less rain in places that are already dry, such as Otago, and you would see something like a tripling of the frequency of droughts. And that would go along with a big increase in the risk, at least, of wildfires. So there are 1 or 2 spots in the country at the moment, one around Gisborne, one near Christchurch, where you see nearly half the year you're in extreme fire danger. That spot would spread out to be the whole of the eastern part of the country, from roughly Balclutha to East Cape. So yeah, that could have. This is a picture of the Port Hills fire in the Banks Peninsula a year and a half ago. We could be seeing quite a bit more of that kind of thing. And the big glaciers in the Southern Alps would essentially recede right up the valleys, so there wouldn't really be any tourism around these iconic glaciers, and we wouldn't be able to see them ourselves. They would just be, I commented somewhere, they'd be stories to our grandchildren. You know, this is just with another degree warmer. And the entire ice sheets could decide to melt irreversibly if we get much more than another degree of warming. And I won't go over this because I'm already out of time, but basically if we stay on the Paris Agreement future, the bottom line, we don't get much addition to sea level, global sea levels from Antarctica, like only 20 centimetres or so. But as soon as we get much above 2 degrees, lots of ice starts to melt. And it takes hundreds of years, but we would lock in 5, 10, 15, 20 metres of sea level rise over centuries. So what do we do? What do we have to do to stop the warming and stop the melting of the ice? So we've got this big spike in carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Basically, we've got to stop that spike getting any taller, and we need to see it start coming down. Which is a problem, because this stuff stays in the air for centuries. Once you put it up there, unless you can think of a way to actively pull it out, it's going to take hundreds, maybe thousands of years before this decreases naturally. So we need to stop putting it in, certainly. To get onto that blue line temperature future, we need to go to zero emissions fairly soon. And the present government have got this plan to go to zero emissions by 2050. That sounds good to me. But at the present rate of emissions, we just keep putting carbon dioxide in the air at the rate that we've been going lately, then we will put enough in for 2 degrees of warming in less than 20 years from now. And if we want to stop at 1.5 degrees, which is what a lot of the small island nations in the Pacific want, then we've probably got about 7 or 8 years at current rates of emission. So basically no time at all. So if we're going to buy time and have time to really get on top of this problem, we need to see emissions in this country and every country decreasing rapidly from immediately, basically right now. And there's lots of things we can do. I won't label this because I think others will talk about it. More renewable energy, more public transport, more electric vehicles, more people riding bicycles. using renewables to power industry, throwing less rubbish away. That's a big thing in New Zealand. Doing interesting things with agriculture, planting lots of trees, and that's sort of underway, or being talked about at least. And we could reduce our actual emissions 40% in the next 10 or 15 years if we want to try it out. Okay, so how much warming we get this century, and eventually it really depends on us still. Hopefully only 1 more degree or even less than that if we're lucky. But even with another degree of warming, you still see big changes in extreme events. I haven't talked about floods and droughts particularly, but you tend to see bigger extremes in all directions as things warm up. And there is a certain amount of change already locked in, but we don't have to have lots more. And it's been 3 million years since the atmosphere looked like it does at the moment. And we are not used to this. We're not used to the environment changing. We've had thousands of years of a stable climate. We have to get our heads around the fact that the climate is not stable anymore. And that sort of thinking has got to be factored into our plans to adapt to the changing climate, at the neighbourhood level, at the community, regional level, and certainly at the national and the international level. We just need to think a bit differently about how the future is going to look. And final point, we do have a lot of power, that graph with the two curves that diverge. If we want to stop the warming at a level that hopefully is manageable, we can actually do it if we start to take action immediately. Right, that's my lot.
Thank you very much, James.